So my name is Nam Seng. I'm the security solution engineer for SentinelOne. And almost the last time that I ever, in an auditorium, right, it was almost 25 years back when I was still a student. So what I'm going to cover today is accelerate threat hunting, analysis, as well as response with AI. We do have some materials in terms of what SentinelOne is, as well as our solution. And later on, we will have a quick recorded video whereby we'll show you how we can actually utilize AI to hunt as well as to respond. And you might ask, Nam Seng, what is this about against the theme of identity today? So we'll hear about that very shortly. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank PwC for inviting us over here so that we can share this with you. And let's move on a bit. Okay, cool. So this is one big slide about SentinelOne. Some of y'all might have heard about SentinelOne as the endpoint security solution provider. Yes, we are. We do provide what we call EPP and EDR, endpoint protection platform, as well as endpoint detection and response. We have been in the Gartner Leaders Quadrant for the last 4 years for the EPP portion, and as well as for MITRE evaluation, we are always having the full visibility as well as protection. And on your right-hand side, that's where you can see identity piece. We will have another slide that we will be covering that in terms of how we are able. We are not in the space of IAM or PAM, like what the earlier kind of speaker spoke about, the identity access management as well as the privilege. Later on, we'll cover how we are actually providing identity security. In the middle of this slide, you see cloud. So there are some terms that you might be familiar with, what we call CNAPP. In short, what we are providing is during build time, that means when your cloud DevOps guys are creating the codes to be so-called published out to your internal users as well as your external customers, we are able to assess whether they contain any possible vulnerabilities or even what we call configuration enhancement in order for you to reduce the risk. And as well as during runtime, where you have your workloads running, we are able to provide protection and similar visibility that we are providing for our endpoint side of business. And on your extreme right-hand side, that's where we do cover what we call vulnerability management. That means assessing the vulnerabilities within the application, the operating system that you have deployed our agents on, as well as providing services, what we call MDR services or even DFIR services. So that is where we can actually help augment your team in case you need a third-party vendor itself to actually look at those alerts that has been generated out from your investment of our solutions. In the middle part, that's where you can see SentinelOne Singularity platform as well as our data lake. And right below, you'll see quite a number of security vendors' names, or not say names, but solutions, be it CASB, be it firewall, be it SASE, web, threat intel, the list goes on. What we are trying to do here is that we have customers that invested on our platform that allows them to ingest third-party logs so that they can actually utilize the data lake in order to, later on in the video itself, how we can, or how you can actually threat hunt at scale and at speed. With that, I'll move on to the key point over here, comprehensive identity security. So we are, again, on the point that we are not on the IAM or PAM. What we are doing is that, first of all, the first stage, normally what the organization does is that typically you have secure your perimeter, your endpoint as well, right? How about the identity, the crown jewels of your so-called business as well as your IT? That's where how secure or how protected is your Active Directory. That's where in the first phase, we are able to help you assess, is there any possible kind of vulnerabilities as well as configuration enhancement on your Active Directory. For example, just a very simple one, account hygiene. So do you ever identify or surface out, or during your red teaming exercise, find that there are accounts that had never expiring password? So that could be a very important security risk that very easily using a policy, you can actually enforce and reduce those passwords that never expire. Having your users to reset their password or even have certain level of complexity. That's number one. That's where you can see on the AD hardening and protection, which is on the, as I would say, the third part of the flow chart itself. And the second portion that we can actually cover is what we call the protection of Active Directory. In an event that you have an unprotected endpoint and you have an attacker that is inside or having hands on keyboard on the endpoint, and this person is trying to kind of do a DC sync or do what we call credential harvesting, we can actually protect the AD from these activities and surfacing out those alerts so that your security team can respond to them. Okay, last but not least, on the endpoint side of things, you'll see what we call credential protection as well as reconnaissance prevention. So using a single agent, like what you have on our EPE and EDR, you can have the ability to provide protection on the endpoint on your identity piece. That's where in an event that an endpoint that was being compromised, trying to do certain reconnaissance or even try to look into certain domains that that system is being joined to, what we can do is that we can highlight alerts as well as the important part, what we call decoys, deceiving the attacker by giving fake information. What it does allow organization to do is that it allows you more time to respond because the attacker will have fake information, and that's where they will try to use that information to access different applications within your environment. So in an event that you might have seen this movie by Leonardo, the Inception, like a fake environment that we are giving the the attacker so that, again, reduce or having that immediate visibility and the attacker more time to roam about, having understand what the attacker is trying to achieve. Okay, so this is what we call give in terms of identity security recommendations, definitely to reduce the surface area. The less surface area that we need to cover allows us the focus to protect the infrastructure, as well as during the reconnaissance phase, disrupt the attacker so that, again, we have early access to know what they are doing and to understand what they are trying to achieve as well. Okay, let's move on a bit. So this is setting the stage for the demo later on. I'm not sure that any of those SOC personnel over here, this might be familiar to you. Today is Monday, today is Double 11 days, Double 11, and we would definitely love to go back home to enjoy the day with our loved one. Imagine this is typically on a daily basis. SOC environment, long alert queues. I'm not sure how many of you all could agree that from the start of the day to the end of the day, there will be definitely alerts that we wouldn't be able to respond to. And we will then need to leave it for another day or our fellow colleagues to actually look at those alerts. And actually lead to what you call the responders burnout. And I'm really kind of excited looking at those students outside covering the CTF exercise. That's where we want to give them an environment that they can actually perform as well as continue to show value or provide value to your company. And understand that since almost 20 years back when I first started out, not sure anyone of you all have utilized a tool called Ethereal, or during the books that I studied is TCP/IP 101, something like that. From the day to date itself, there's so many complex systems. SASE wasn't a term that I was even familiar at that point of time, and APT as well. So multiple setups, multiple configuration, and definitely that leads to limited time to do what we call threat hunting. Threat hunting in layman term, I would actually term it like CCTV, right? Normally, like EDR is a CCTV recording who is coming in, who is going out of this building. But there are times that we have security personnel that goes into every single door to look whether there's anyone hiding behind those doors. Threat hunting is an activity similar to those kind of scenario, opening up every single door, see any threat actors hiding behind, waiting for the right time to attack. And definitely talent shortage, that's where we are in the business, as well as having multiple of those students outside there completing the CTF. Okay, so what we're going to cover next is that we do have, I believe, most of us are familiar with the ChatGPT as well. We do have something equivalent, what we call Purple AI, which allows you, during the demo you'll see that, allows you to key in natural language, that means simple plain English at this point of time, whereby we will be able to translate it to what we call our hunting queries. With that, it allows you to hunt at speed, and we will also provide what we call recommendation. What will be the next best approach, or some suggestions so that your responders wouldn't be burned out, or they will have guided kind of information, what will be the best course of actions next. Last but not least, wanted to share that definitely we have quick starts books itself to help your responders to understand what they can be looking out for. One example that we would like to share with you is that, hey, maybe for my environment, I allow RDP. RDP, but it's only within Hong Kong territory. So in an event there's any RDP connection that is outside of Hong Kong, I want to be informed. Whereby that's, again, using our query or even this Purple AI, it allows you to very quickly kind of investigate or surface out those information. Okay, with that, I will just move on a little bit. So this is one of the code by a existing customer of ours. They are actually providers of refinery equipment itself. The key thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is the mean time to response. Okay, so during my study days, my lecturer actually told me about, since we are in like auditorium setup, is that most of us have heard about that it's inevitable that you'll be breached, and it's also that you'll be breached again. And typically it's how we respond that actually matter. Just like COVID, it's not about getting sick, it's how we respond to the threat that truly matters or differentiate the SOC as well as the organization. So in order to reduce the mean time to response, you or the organization definitely needs to do more threat hunting. So that's where we have that platform to allow you to do that. Okay, before we move on to the video, we did this, what we call trap ops. This is something similar to a CTF. What we have is that we have a very experienced person that is very well versed in SentinelOne, what we call our query language. And we have other 6 participants that actually competed in this trap ops challenge. The results, as you can see on the slides, the top 6 are the ones that utilize AI to help them with their investigation. And the person that have almost 3 years of experience using SentinelOne came in last because he do not have the power of a kind of AI assistant for him. Okay, so you might ask, that's all paper talk, right? So let us see it in action. And how does it work? Okay, so the video will run pretty fast later on, but not to worry, we do have a booth outside. We welcome you to come over to our booth. We can actually do a live demo for you. And before we go into the demo itself, just imagine this morning, Monday morning, waking up in the morning, your executive, the chief executive officer reads the news and it actually find out certain articles. So I believe this is a recent article back in June, whereby the government actually has some proposal of a cybersecurity bill itself. I understand that it's still being evaluated at this point of time. But let us look. This is where incident response reporting is a key requirement of that. And just take a note. Okay, almost stealing data of, hopefully I didn't bring any sensitive topic over here. This is one college of technology. I believe that this is in the public news. Almost 8,000 of the student information was being so-called stolen. And This is another article. This is about LogBit. So we heard about LogBit 1, 2, and 3. So imagine reading this in the news, right? How are we able to help you? Okay. How are you able to leverage on the data that you have in your environment in order for you to, within minutes or even hours, or I would say minutes, to create an incident report or a report to your management to say that right now we did not see any indicators, but we will continue to hunt for these threat actors in an event that they are targeting our organization. Let's play this video. Okay, so this is some suggestions. You can see threat hunting suggestions as well as support questions. So what we can do is that, hey, right now I'm just going into the bar over there. I'm trying to find evidence. So imagine just now all the telemetric data sending to our data lake. And right now I'm using AI to ask, hey, show me or help me find any evidence of LogBit ransomware in my environment for the last 7 days or even longer. So with that, just natural language, anyone can type it in. It actually translates to what we call our Power Query language. And we are fetching those results at scale, at speed as well. Imagine those telemetric data being sent. How much data would that be? And within, I would say, 10 seconds, unfortunately, there's some matches. Okay, let it sink it in. Now, there are some machines or some events that indicates that, hey, they do have what we call SHA-256 and MD5 hashes of that indicator. And by clicking on the event, right, using Purple AI, I would be able to share, or we will be able to provide with you certain information of what we see pertaining to this event, what it translates to, and is being enriched by our partners as well, Mandiant, Google Cloud. That's where, let me close that off. And right below, you can see, hey, there are some suggestions. What will be the next step, just like ChatGPT, right? What will be the next step that you should adopt on? But right now, I kind of know I need to find out what are the endpoints as well as the username. So I'm just typing, show me the distribution of LogBit ransomware again. Over here, activities, based on, again, simple English, based on usernames as well as endpoint across the different endpoints over here, again, for the last 7 days. And it can be longer, depending on how much data retention that you are subscribed to. Okay, so very quickly, it's analyzing, it's translating those natural language, going to our query language itself, and we are fetching the results. But before that, you can see a thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, we want to partner with you. That's where we will want to hear your feedback as well. You can provide feedback in terms of how we are doing, in terms of the results being given to you. And again, within less than 10 seconds or about 10 seconds, I have the distribution of the agents. And at that point of time, I can actually respond to that as well. I can actually disconnect the system from the network to prevent further infection. So sorry about that. That was pretty fast. So at that point of time, I can actually take action. Just like COVID, I can isolate a certain endpoint that is being infected. This is the best part that I like. This allows me to go home early. Oh, no, sorry, go home on time. Help me write an incident report. Yeah, with the username and so-called the endpoint names. This allows me, within the speech that we have been sharing, the last 10 minutes, right? You can actually submit to your CEO, CIO, CISO to say that, okay, let's wait for the results to come up. Those that is being impacted by LogBit ransomware. And let's see how fast it will generate the report for you. Okay, just pausing a while over there, writing the report. Even for myself, I'll take like maybe 30 minutes to even write this, even if I have a template. So incident report, I can safely copy and paste. If anyone noticed, this is just done this morning, this video. And right now, I have the username, the affected endpoints, and the mitigation and recommendations. I can copy and paste and escalate this matter. Okay, that is great, that is good. I did the investigation, but I also want to save this information. That's where right now I'm actually changing the name from a simple notebook to a LogBit investigation. And I can actually share with my colleagues as well. Not to reinvent the wheel itself, and I can actually pass it on to my other colleagues so that they can actually carry on with this simple investigation that we have shown today. And with that, I'm not sure, someone is pointing to the screen itself. I'll just pause it at that time. So again, we can actually do multiple of this kind of threat hunting. Again, the idea is for you, for anyone with simple kind of question, kind of mindset to ask the so-called the AI. So in order for you to have a very quick understanding, a very educated decision-making process to escalate or even inform the management that right now there's only 2 machines. What if there's 100 machines? I need more resources in order to contain the situation, or even I need to contain the larger network at space. So with that, hopefully we give you a very quick perspective of how AI can actually help accelerate your SOC team or your organization in terms of responding to cybersecurity threat. We did not cover in terms of, I could also ask the AI itself to say, hey, show me where this account has logged on for the last 7 days. So this is more identity-related kind of questions. So with that, again, we encourage you to visit us at our booth. We can definitely show you some live demo, or if you have certain questions in your mind, you can come to us with key inside the Purple AI and see how it actually translates to those query language, or what information would it be able to provide to you. With that, thank you so much. We'll take the question at the booth. Thank you.